Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I want to begin my remarks on the debate for Bill 5 by acknowledging the presence of many First Nations and Indigenous people who are watching from the visitors gallery above. And I find it ironic that I say they're in the visitors gallery because, as my friend, the member from Kiiwetinoong, has taught me, they're not the visitors, we are. Here in Toronto, we rest on the traditional territories of several Indigenous nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. And if land acknowledgements like that mean more than the paper that they are written on, we have an obligation to fix Bill 5. Now, we heard from the Minister of Energy that we face an unprecedented crisis, that there's global instability, that we need to be able to rely on our forestry and mining sectors, and we need to increase our resilience. On those things, all of us in this House are agreed. But the question before us, and the one that we must answer as we consider whether to vote for Bill 5, and I encourage all members in this House not to vote for Bill 5. The question we must answer is, do the ends justify the means? And what I will say today is that if the means are Bill 5, then the answer to that is no. Beyond that, I will go further and say this government, even if entrusted with Bill 5, has given us no confidence that they can deliver on the things that they are promising to. Time and time again, since they came into power 7 years ago, they have made lofty promises that they have failed to deliver on. They failed to deliver on these things because they conceive legislation, they rush it through, they ignore consultation, and then they end up backpedaling. When I first spoke about Bill 5, I reflected on my experience as an emergency doctor, where oftentimes, in some of the most critical scenarios, rushing, even when someone is dying, is not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to be thoughtful, deliberate, avoid making mistakes, and get things right the first time. Surgeons know it. Carpenters know it. That's why they say measure twice, cut once. Special forces learn it. Race car drivers learn it. Slow is fast, fast is smooth. Don't make mistakes and get it right the first time. This government hasn't learned that lesson. It's why they backpedal on everything, on the Greenbelt, on many other government flip-flops. Bill 28, Bill 23 with development charges, Bill 124 with our public sector workers. And every time they do that, this government sets us back and decreases trust in their ability to deliver on promises for Ontarians. When we talk about things like special economic zones, they're not that different from other things like ministerial zoning orders, where authoritative, independent, nonpartisan officers of this legislature have warned us how when this government wielded that power, they made major mistakes. The Auditor General, in their report on ministerial zoning orders, warned us that in many cases, because this government skipped significant, important municipal planning steps, projects were delayed not by years, but in some cases are expected to be delayed by decades. We've heard about the urgency of introducing special economic zones because other authoritarian regimes have them. And while it is true that we must be independent from those regimes, we must do it without becoming those regimes, as some members in this House have advocated. And finally, I will say that we must do it by earning the trust that has been given to us by the people of Ontario and by Indigenous people. We have an obligation to listen, to hear, to consult with First Nations and Indigenous people. The government has insisted that they will, and my answer to that is that they should have done it already. First Nations and Indigenous people are here right now, have been here for weeks, urging us, telling us that this government has not listened to them, is not addressing their concerns, and worse, is speaking for them. And I, as a humble servant in this legislature of the people of Ontario, am here merely to amplify those voices. We have before us a critical period, but a critical opportunity. We should accelerate the permitting of mines, but it has to be done the right way. We must increase our economic resilience, but it has to be done the right way. And this government is not offering that with Bill 5 and is not taking the opportunities that have been afforded to it to fix Bill 5, which is why